Hi there, thanks for joining in. This is, for those of you who don't know me, this is Shauna Bell from SBell Wellness. I'm coming tonight to chat about oils and how to use essential oils with DIY recipes. So everything I'll talk about tonight, I am referring to using doTERRA essential oils as I'm an oil educator with doTERRA. And so all of these have been tried and true recipes with doTERRA oils, and so that's the quality that I can speak to. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about some of the oils that we're talking about. And the reason that I choose doTERRA is because those oils are tested and made sure that they truly are pure, to make sure that what we are putting in and on our bodies are safe for us. So I won't go into a lot of detail about that tonight because it's about the DIY, but if you have questions about that, you can certainly reach out to me or check out some of the videos from the past so that you can learn a little bit more about that. All right, so probably the top question I get about DIY is how do I make roller bottles? And I always tell people just do it. I know lots of people really kind of get nervous. They want a recipe. They want to know exactly how many drops to put in. Can I do it wrong? That sort of thing. So tonight I want to give you some guidelines that I think will be helpful. And then you'll feel like you're able to do that kind of following those guidelines. So what you actually need is a glass bottle. And so this is a 10 milliliter. We also have like a 5 milliliter size that some people like to use. And so this is glass. You want to use glass. That just helps keep the quality of the oils. This is an amber glass. You'll find different colors. You'll find clear. The only thing with ones that are not the darker color, you just want to make sure that you keep them out of the light. So this is the 10 milliliter, like I mentioned. You'll need this. You'll need your essential oils, and then you'll need a carrier oil. So I like to use fractionated coconut oil. So the chemical composition of that is just that it stays in liquid form, so that's a little bit different than coconut oil that you might use in cooking. So this is the doTERRA one. I also like to use this brand, which is In Vivo, and so it's a very good quality brand. I get this one on Amazon. I just get this one because it's a larger bottle and I make lots of them, and so it lasts longer for me. But both of those are going to do what you need them to do. You can use other carrier oils like almond oil, jojoba oil is really good for the skin. The fractionated coconut oil is very versatile and it absorbs very well. So with your bottle, we will have for adults, you would put about 10 to 20 drops of your essential oil. So for instance, if I was going to take my favorite oil balance and make a roller bottle of that, you would put in 10 drops of the essential oil, and then you would fill up the rest of the way with the fractionated coconut oil. So I really like the pumps because then you can just pump it right in. And then you would just cap it with your cap. And you can get labels. You can get those on doTERRA. They have sticker labels. There's lots of different websites out there. One of my favorites is Share Oils that you can get some of those things from. I forgot to mention, as far as getting these roller bottles, you can buy these roller bottles on Amazon. I will tell you that my experience over time with them is that the quality is super variable. And so doTERRA actually sells these in the DIY section, and I do recommend hands down that these are much more consistent quality of bottle. But let's just talk a little bit about like how much. So I just mentioned the adult roller, right? So that's a 10 milliliter. You would do 10 to 20 drops of your essential oil, the rest in the fractionated coconut oil. If you have a 5 milliliter bottle, you're just going to cut that in half. So 5 to 10 drops for adult. For kids, 2 to 6 years old, for a 10 milliliter, you're going to do 2 to 4 drops. 5 milliliter, you're going to do 1 to 2 drops. So that's kids 2 to 6. If you've got kids 6 to 10, or you've got people with sensitive skin, then you want to do 2 to 4 drops in that 10 milliliter, and then 1 to 2 for the 5 milliliter. And so just so you guys know, if you're trying to take notes on this and I'm going a little bit fast, I have all of this stuff to you and I can certainly email it out to you. So don't feel like you have to get it all right. I certainly can send that out to you. So just to give you a couple of examples of roller bottles. So here's the 3 things that I use absolutely daily. So I've got a bunch of different other ones that I might use for different moods or different illnesses or things going on. But my morning routine is my immune blend. So I have a DIY blend that has 5 drops of frankincense, 5 drops of lemon, 5 drops of On Guard, and 5 drops of Melaleuca. So that one I roll on the bottoms of my feet every morning before I put on my socks, just to give that extra boost and support the immune system to make sure that I'm staying well. In the afternoon, I really love peppermint and wild orange together for that kind of afternoon slump. It's a really good one. So you could do 10 drops of peppermint and 10 drops of wild orange. And then at bedtime, for relaxing, making sure you can settle and support rest, 10 drops of balance and 10 drops of serenity. So tons and tons of recipes out there, you guys, tons of ways to do this. But these are some guidelines that you can think about when you want to start digging in with your roller bottles. And so why there's that range when we talk about adults 10 to 20 is because you might be putting in more than one. I will say I have exceeded that 20 before. I kind of have a guideline that I go up to 30 when I'm doing some that have a lot of oils in them. So it just really depends on what you're doing and you knowing your skin and your sensitivity level. All right, so that was roller bottles. The next one that is super big for our home, we've been doing for a long time, is making my own foaming hand soaps. And so this is so much way more affordable than getting some of those other ones that are on the market. We're kind of really trying to think about what we're putting on our body and making sure that the ingredients that we know we need are there, the ones we need to perform, but then things that we don't need are not there. And it's really hard for us to kind of decipher those things on labels. So figuring out how to do it on our own is a really great alternative to make sure we know what we're doing. So super, super easy. You can get these foaming hand soap dispensers. These are empty. This is the doTERRA one. You can get those in the DIY section too. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to take 2 tablespoons of Castile soap. I use the Dr. Bronner's. This is like a little sample size actually. But I get much larger bottle on Amazon. I think I tend to use this. This is like the baby one because it's unscented. Because I'm going to add my own scents into it, and I want to make sure the scent is high quality versus I'm not really sure in some of the other ones. And so I tend to use this. So you're going to put 2 tablespoons of your Castile soap in. You're going to put 1 teaspoon of that fractionated coconut oil that we talked about earlier. And then you're going to put 10 drops of whatever essential oil you want to use in your soap. So I use On Guard the majority of the time for our soaps just because this is our immunity blend and I'm wanting to make sure we're getting our hands clean and using that at the same time. So that's what I tend to use. So 10 drops then would go in of the essential oil, and then you're going to fill just the rest of the way with filtered water. I just use the filter on my fridge. Fill it up, put your top on, give it a shake, and you're good to go. So then you just refill it as you need it. Just cost effective wise, you guys, like so these bottles on doTERRA, like $2. Once you are just, you've got your supplies and you're making it, it really comes down to less than $2 a bottle. So definitely affordable, not something that you're spending extra money on. You're already spending that kind of money on hand soap. So definitely a really great swap so that you know what's in there and you know that you're able to clean and be safe at the same time for your body. Another way that you can do little hand soaps, you can actually make these little smaller versions to have with you if you're traveling or wanting to use them at work where there's some other soaps that you're not sure of. And so you could just cut down your recipe and be able to use these. I actually bought these on Amazon, so smaller foaming hand soap cups. Some other good ones, so if On Guard's not something that you care for the scent of, lavender is a really great one for soap. Lemon is a really nice one. Melaleuca, which is tea tree, so that one has really great cleansing properties. And grapefruit's a really nice one aromatic-wise, as well as those cleansing properties. So just for some other examples besides On Guard that you may want to try in your soaps. While we're talking about hand cleaning, so hand sanitizer is another really great DIY that you can do. So this is the doTERRA bottle actually, but I just reuse them over and over again now. So you can buy them already made up. You can also buy just the empty bottles now on the DIY section again. So this is a 30 milliliter spray bottle. And so what you do is just put 5 drops of your essential oil in there. So again, I use the On Guard, just put 5 drops in there, put 1/4 of a tablespoon of the fractionated coconut oil, 1/2 teaspoon of aloe vera gel, and then the rest of the way with distilled water. So you want to use distilled in this because you want that to help preserve what's going on in your bottle. So then you just give it a shake every time you want to use it. I keep this one actually in my coat pocket, and I spray down the cart in the grocery store. You know, anytime that you're on the go and you need that. It's a really great way to cleanse our hands and not dealing with the alcohol and all of those kind of things that are in some of those hand sanitizers that we think we are cleaning our hands with, but actually it could be causing much more harm. So this is a great swap to be able to do that for yourself, and super convenient to be able to take that with you in the smaller bottle. All right, bath salts. So taking baths has not always been something that I enjoy. I'm more of a shower person. However, I have learned a lot about how taking Epsom salt baths can be very good for detoxing the body of all of these toxins that are happening with products that are being used, just air, all of these things. And so it's a really great way to help your body be able to naturally detox, really support the liver and the liver's ability to do that. So with bath salts, this one's already made up, but you can do, this is an 8-ounce ball jar. You can certainly do a larger one if that's something that you do more frequently. In this size, the 8-ounce, there's 1 cup of Epsom salt, a tablespoon of baking soda, and about 3 to 4 drops of essential oil. So in this one, it has lavender in there, which is really nice for relaxing and calming. Another favorite of mine is our Zendocrine blend, which is our detoxification blend. And so that's a really great one if that's intent for taking the bath. So what you would do is you would take all these ingredients, you know, that cup of Epsom salts, tablespoon of baking soda, and your essential oils, mix them up in a bowl, and then put them in your jar. And then just make sure it's sealed tight so the air is not getting to that, and then you've got that ready to go. I would say that this size jar, this 8 ounce, is probably like 2 baths. So if that's something that you want to do more frequently, then you know, just doubling that recipe and get a larger jar would be good. And the possibilities are really endless with the essential oils that you could use for that. So if you're really kind of thinking like you have something going on, an illness or something like that, if you use your Essential Basics book, this, you know, you can look up whatever you got going on. It's going to give you an oil, and then you can just use that in your recipe for the Epsom bath. All right, room sprays. So another thing that is something that we are used to. We want the home to smell good. Of course, we can use our diffusers for that. But I think we just naturally are used to wanting room sprays and using those things. And so there's just a lot of crap in those that we really don't need to be breathing in. And so there's a really great way for us to use this. is to make our own. And so basically it's really what your preference is for a bottle. So there's a couple different things. This is a continuous spray bottle that you can also get in the DIY section on the doTERRA website. And so it just kind of continuously sprays a little bit once you push here. So we really like these for like the bathroom spray. You can also use the smaller version. So this is like an 80 milliliter aluminum bottle that I get on that Share Oils website that I mentioned earlier. So you can use either of those. And then what you're going to do, I'm talking about the recipe for this one right now, so you just kind of decrease that for the smaller bottle. So what you're going to do is you're going to have about 10 to 20 drops of whatever essential oil you're thinking about, and I'll give some examples in a minute. And then you're going to use up to a tablespoon of witch hazel or vodka. So really you're just wanting to get the alcohol content as a preservative. And so I know that sounds kind of funny, but just using a little bit of vodka is a great way to preserve it, as well as allow it to kind of disperse in the air when you spray it. And then you'll just need some distilled water again. And so you're going to put all those ingredients in your preferred bottle, and then you just fill up the rest of the way with your distilled water. Shake it every time you go to use it, and then you're good to go. And so some things that we like as far as a couple recipes, so like if you have pets and you're dealing with pet odors, 10 drops of Purify is really good, with 6 drops of Melaleuca and 4 drops of grapefruit. So that's really helping to purify the air, as well as some citrus in there to give us that nice fragrance. And then a fresh blend. So for freshness, we like 8 drops of lavender, 8 drops of wild orange, 6 drops of Siberian fir. I have a friend who makes her bathroom sprays for like everybody in her family now, absolutely loves them. And she uses Citrus Bliss for hers. So that's another really great one that you might like to try out as well. All right, and the last DIY that I wanted to share is linen spray. So super great to freshen up the linens, as well as using that before bedtime to just really get those aromatics in the room if you're not already using a diffuser. And so what you'll need is, this is a 16-ounce glass bottle. You can get these on Amazon as well. And so you'll need about 20 drops of your essential oil for this size bottle. You're going to use 1/4 a cup of witch hazel. Because it's 1/4 of a cup, I don't use that much vodka in so witch hazel is what I'm using this. And then some distilled water. So you're going to combine your ingredients, give it a shake every time you go to use it, and you're good to go. These labels came from Oil Life. There's so many different places that you can get labels. You can make your own. You don't need those anything fancy to be able to do this. 2 faves that I have for linen spray would be using that Purify that I just mentioned with some lavender together. So I really like freshening up the linens with that Purify, and then lavender for the rest. And then those of you who have followed along, you know my combo for sleep is Serenity and Balance. And so those are definitely the ones that I would put in a linen spray as well. All right, so I hope that wasn't too much information, but I definitely wanted to share with you some recipes. If you want these, I can email them to you. I will certainly just go ahead and email blast it to everyone who's already a customer after this class tonight. And then anybody else, if you want to just reach out to me, you can jump on SBellWellness.com, go to the contact section, and you will find my email there. There's a phone number that you can send me a message so that I can help you get started with this. All right, thank you so much for joining in, and I'll talk to you later.